Hi everybody, Andrew Cuneo back again with another Alchemy video. This time I'm going to be trying a red-white equipment deck. It seems like for years Wizards has been trying to print cards to make this archetype work, and they really haven't gotten there yet. But I do think that Alchemy, this like post-rotation, post-Lord of the Rings nerf, Alchemy is probably a somewhat low power level format, so maybe there's a chance for this kind of stuff to work. So I wanted to give it a shot. That said, there are a ton of red or white cards that are either equipment or cards that synergize with equipment. So I've gone through all the spoilers and tried to pick the ones that I thought looked the best, but there's certainly a wide variety to choose from. So some of this is just going to be trying to learn which ones are good and which ones are bad. So I guess let's begin at the beginning. This card, Kemba's Outfitter. People have been playing with this in Historic, some for like combos with that hammer. I don't have any great combos with it. It's just a thing to make my fair equipment cheaper to equip. Skrelvs. I generally don't love Skrelv, but I think if you're going to go to the trouble to put an equipment on a creature, it's worth having a way to protect it. That's why I'm playing with Skrelv. Also, I wanted to have some number of legendaries in my deck to make Plaza of Heroes worth playing. I still didn't play the full 4 because it's a bit of a balancing act for like how many Plaza of Heroes do you really want to play in a deck that has a lot of non-legends. And as we're going to get to, this deck also has ossifications in it, so I needed to have some basic lands. So I wanted like some legends. Also, I'm playing one copy of the Irencrag just because it flips into an equipment, and I thought it might be nice to ramp into some of my more expensive cards. I don't know. I wanted to give it a try. This card has always seemed so bad to me in Limited. I've never put it in my deck. So we're trying it in this deck. Mary is not a good... Well, it's not an equipment-themed card, but it is a pretty good red-white legend. And I have this, like, minor legends theme, so I'm going to try one of those. Kadeen. This is a standard legal card that's an equipment payoff that... This one seems a little bit weak, but I'm trying it. 2 ossifications in my main deck. As we're going to get to in a second, this ossification's a tutor target. 1 Kemba. It's another legendary equipment themed card. I don't know. I have to play with this deck some to figure out which of these legends which one's the best, and if any of them are worth playing in like heavy enough multiples that you risk drawing, dead copies. 1 of this Frodo. I have no idea where this card came from. I don't think it was draftable in Lord of the Rings, but it is yet another equipment themed legend, so I'm trying it. Then I've got 3 copies of Kellan. I suspect this is one of the better equipment-themed legends. This is why I have ossifications in my deck, because ossification is an aura, so you can tutor for it. You can also tutor for all your various equipment, which we'll be getting to in a second. And then it's just generally the 3-mana Kellan body side is pretty strong as well. 4 Rebel Salvo, so this is 5 damage instant that gets cheaper when you have equipment in play, so perfectly at home in this deck. 4 copies of Bladehold Whip. This was an uncommon in Mirrodin Besieged, but it was the best uncommon. I think it's a pretty strong card here. Also, this is a pretty good card to use Kemba's Outfitter to get the cost down to 1. This is one of the new Alchemy cards from today, which is not an equipment-themed card, but it just looks like a pretty good card to me. Outside of the land, I thought this was probably the best card in the new Alchemy cards, which I'm prepared to be proven wrong, certainly, but because this card doesn't look great. It seems to me that they've actually gotten way more cautious in like the power level of the cards they're printing into Alchemy, which I actually think is for the best, because I think it means that there isn't going to be so much pressure to nerf stuff in the format. Like they can just... If they either have a balanced standard format to begin with, or they might need to knock 1 or 2 standard cards down, and they certainly needed to knock the Lords of the Rings cards down. But ideally, they're not printing a bunch of Alchemy cards that are just ridiculous and warp the format for 3 months until somebody wakes up and realizes they need to nerf them, like what happened. That's what happened in the past with the Diviner of Fates and Cabaretti Revels and Inquisitor Captain, and probably a bunch more that I'm forgetting. Like that was one of the big problems with Alchemy, is they would just print busted cards and then ignore them for months. They kind of did the same thing with Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, at least the cards were the same as paper cards. The Alchemy cards, there really wasn't an excuse. But anyway, that's just a long-winded way of saying that even though this card doesn't look that busted, I think it's actually one of the better new cards, and it looks fine. Oh, Crucius is another one that they let completely ruin the format for a long time. All right, back to the equipments. One sword of Forge and Frontier, and one sword of Once and Future. I've got one of each because I want to be able to tutor for the appropriate one with Kellan. Sword of Once and Future, the ability on this card, like the triggered ability where you survey and then you cast a spell, my main deck isn't even capable of doing it. My only instance or sorceries are the Rebel Salvos, and I don't think that affinity, having affinity for equipment does not change the mana value of the card. So that doesn't work. So you might wonder, well, why is this in my deck at all? And the answer is because I think Pro Black is really, really that important. If there was a different Pro Black sword, there are some that are only legal in older formats, I would certainly be playing one of those over this. But I thought that Pro Black was so important that I wanted to play one copy of that. This is another Alchemy-only card. That it's basically a 4-mana 4/4 that when it dies you get... None of these cards are great. I mean, I guess Hero Bladehold's pretty great. Hero Voxid Rage is pretty good. See, some of the cards you get are pretty good. Some of the cards you get are pretty bad. Oh, I could get more Bladehold Whips. But this card seemed pretty good to me. It's a 4-mana 4/4 that gives you some card advantage as the game goes on. One Astor, this is a standard legal card, but it is an equipment synergy card. This deck is just like try all of the equipment synergy legends in red and white, basically. And also try Jewel Mind Overseer. Looking at the lands, nothing too special. I've got 4 of each of the good dual lands that are Alchemy legal. I've got 1 Minas Tirith, because of my legend theme. Only 3 Captivating Crossroads and 2 Plaza of Heroes. I was trying to balance having good mana versus having Ossification be functional. So right now I've got 11 basics, which is hopefully going to be enough. Sideboard, I've got more Ossification, some Loran of the first paths. Loran of the third path. I don't really know exactly what that's for, but I don't know what kind of decks are going to be good in Alchemy. I thought it might be good to be able to blow up artifacts and enchantments. 3 Éowyn's. I think this card's really good in the matchups where it's good. It probably is a little bit too narrow to put in your main deck, but it's really, really good if your opponent has a bunch of big creatures, like Sheoldred being an obvious example. 4 Torch the Towers to have some more cheap removal. And 3 Invasion of Gobakons, the mid-game mulligan. I may be going a little bit... I may be unnecessarily preparing for people who are going to be doing big mana strategies. I'm not sure that they actually exist in Alchemy. That's where I would be boarding this card in, though. If somebody is playing like the 7-mana Atali or Breach the Multiverse, something like that. Second copy of Sword of Once and Future in case I'm playing against someone where Pro Black is very important. Let's find out how this deck plays, because I have no idea how it's going to do. I think we're going to put the discount on the Bladehold War-Whip, just because it's more expensive. We have a Crystal Grotto setting. One of my hopes with making these Alchemy videos is some of the people watching will start playing Alchemy on the ladder, so the ladder will be capable of doing better pairings. So I'm not playing against people who have budget mana bases. Speaking of budget mana bases, really just go for more lands. Look at all these options I've got. I'll go for an Ossification. And oh, choose to do damage rather than protect my Kemba's outfitter. I put 25 land and an Irencrag in my deck because I do think that when you're playing equipment strategy like this, you actually are going to have a lot of ways to spend mana as the game goes on. How much life have they gained from these lands? 3. It's hardly fair. Okay. Enters the battlefield or dies surveil 1. You got it. How many cards is the deck? It's a pretty healthy number. It's like probably 85-ish. Maybe more. Maybe it's 90. We got... Whoa. They got their bestial bloodline to go to the graveyard. That's value. That is big value. Graveyard to your hand for 5 mana. This card would not be described as a good deal. Alright. Finally, a little bit of something going on. This isn't even in the life gain one. They have this in their life gain lands theme deck. Like it. Respect. Respect for the life gain lands theme deck. Please don't kill my Bladehold War-Whip. Rebel token. Counting on that thing to assist me. Alright, they didn't kill the token. They killed the whip. See if they're going to let me draft a card from the spell book. They are. On something good. Something unexpected, even. Hero Bladehold. The 3 mana 1/1 death touch. Wow. Well, I don't know what this book is. It's not too bad. Maybe a little bit scary, I'd say. Let's make the lands flying. No, you're supposed to put that on the Bunnicorn, I think, opponent. Not sure about that attack. Equip 3, huh? They dead. This thing hits for 7, 8, 9. Attack for 12. I wanted to be able to also play the Rebel Salvo, but I forgot that Rena does not do a good job of predicting how I'm going to want to cast that Rebel Salvo. What's this thing do? I don't know if I've ever played with your Bladehold on the arena before. Well, that's not enough land. And way too many Skrelvs. I'm gonna bottom Kemba's Outfitter. I'm ready to give this guy a go. I'm gonna get Skrelv out to protect. Maybe this is a lady. Is that a guy or a lady? I don't know. It's not entirely clear. But Skrelv will protect them. It's probably a lady. Filling my deck up with 7 dwarves. But even better, 7 dwarves cantrip 7 dwarves. I kind of feel like if you're going to play with this card, you want to play ways to flicker it. So you can get even more 7 dwarves into your deck. Okay. This would be nice to have a cheaper equipment. I'll just get an Ossification now. This is not a good block. It's extremely irresponsible. Maybe they're planning to play a sweeper. Come on, 7 dwarves off the top of my deck. Deck's 55 cards, of which put 7 of them in there, right? 107 cards named 7 dwarves. I don't know what this card does, but I'm just going to let it resolve. Okay, it doesn't do anything. Done it. I hit one of the 7 dwarves. I have to play it. My deck was running low on 7 dwarf content. Now I've got 13 7 dwarves in my deck. Ward 2? Ward 2? Ridiculous. Should I save my guy from being stunned? Sure, why not? Wanted to land. Not bad. Not sure what the thought process there was, but not bad. You can kill one of my Jeweled Overseer's opponent. It's on my hand, or you can kill none of them. I get a card from the spellbook of the Bladehold Cleaver. Does this thing do Metalcraft? I have 2 artifacts right now. Come on, lands. Come on, land. Turns out I didn't need all 14 of those 7 dwarves. It's just the one that I needed. Ooh, a hammer button. Nice. By nice, I mean not nice. We'll get some more 7 dwarves in play before I go in for the killing blow. So, creatures with power 1 or less can't block. Fair enough. It was supposed to be my opening hand, so I could go and get an Ossification this turn. This is not how I wanted things to work out. Oh, cookie. Nice. This is some sort of food combo deck. Frodo Determined Hero is looking like a whole lot of 2/2 with no abilities this turn. Wasn't his most impressive showing. Another Peregrine took. Ossification is pretty nice as a thing to be able to go in 2 to 4. Frodo seems pretty stinky. You can't even do equipment with mana value 1. Not that I have any, but that's a weird limitation. It's not 3 or less, it's 2 or 3. So it doesn't work with the cleaver. I suspect this one is not very good. I think I just want to board it towards the towers against this deck. I'm cutting you, Frodo. You're not good. What else is not to my liking? Astor. They don't even get to know what equipment it is. It's not revealed to them because it's alchemy. It's a secret. can afford to wait a turn on killing that. Not 100% sure I understand how this combo works. But I think if they have the other thing, they still need a way to kind of jumpstart it. Because they need to have 3 food in play, right? Come on, give me a land. Needed a basic land, actually. I think I'm just going to kill this thing now. Still need a basic land. Yikes. These are going from bad to worse. Basic land, please. No. Basic land. No. Basic land. No. Can I put this on my opponent's lands? No. I knew that. Basic land. No. Basic land? No. Why are they targeting my 7 dwarves? thin my deck of non-basic lands. We probably need to hit next turn. Even if I hit next turn, I would imagine I'm still going to lose. Although, I am going to deal a ton of damage. I guess I'm about to see how their combo works. I understand. I don't know where this card is from. I guess it's... Is it an Eldraine card that's not in packs, maybe? Probably not going to cost me anything to play this on turn 2, given my hand. And I get 2 extra damage this way, which is nice. Extra damage is always nice. They have an instant that kills a creature. They definitely want to wait to see what I do with my Restless Bivouac. So I'm thinking about if I want to activate it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to activate it. It's just where would I target the counter. It's possible they have some other, like a protection spell of some sort. I think if they play a protection spell, oh, I see. That really wasn't very good for them. They're going to take a massive amount of damage. Scribe to the top. I don't know what they can get that's going to be all that good. It's just shoulder that BDD's away. Come on, give me something good. Hero of Oxid Ridge. That'd be a good one. So I'll just take another little bit. Seems unlikely to matter. Maybe cut down, I just animate this. Up against Kal-El. Okay. That was kind of savage. Please don't counter my Bladehold Cleaver. I think I'm going to hang back with Skrelv this time. 2/2 double strike seems good enough to protect. Doesn't matter how I do this. Maybe that's better. I don't know. It seems like the 2 card drawing cards are the best, and the duress is the bad one. The Vesuvian Mist is whatever. This just isn't a very good card. It's so expensive for what it does. Oh, I can't. I thought I was going to be able to activate my Minas Tirith. That's why I attacked with the Skrelv. I guess did I do a poison to them? I think I did a poison to them. Not that I'm going to win with poisoning, so that was pointless. I did make it so the Vesuvian Mist might actually do something. Say non-token. It does. Can bounce the War-Whip. If I had played around, if I had just sequenced my turn 2 and 3 slightly differently and played around Urtai Scorn, I think I'd be winning so easily. Well, they didn't really miss anything by not copying Bladehold Cleaver, because it would not be a very effective card for their deck. That is going to be a problem. The nerfs to the One Ring, I think it was a good nerf in that I think it's the more effective nerf than people give it credit for, but it still is pretty good in combination with Shieldred. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. I think I'm happy with my complement of removal. I don't think I want Éowyn. I mean, I did say it's good against Shieldred, but I think that they don't have enough targets for it to be good. I do think I want to cut Sword of Fortune Frontier for another Sword of Once and Future. I'll try a couple Invasion of Gobakons. It's been a while since I put Invasion of Gobakon in my deck. I know it's going to be bad, but I just want to experience it again. Ready for double tap land draw. I'm going to flood the board. I don't think they have access to great sweepers in black right now. They could have like a 3-mana -2 to everything kind of card. I'm sure there's one of those, but I don't think there's very good options at 4 and 5 mana. I'll try to invade them this turn. It's an invasion. Gobakon. It's probably going to get countered, and then I'm going to be in bad shape. The gate's pretty good against my deck. The Esquire of Rohan. The Esquire of Rohan's not even going to get to attack? I don't even have another legendary creature. Come on, don't play the One Ring. Bad's it going to be for me if they get Virtue of Persistence in play? It's going to be pretty bad. At least that was a reasonably strong showing by Vesuvan Mists. Really did not draw very many equipment this game. I guess I tutored for an Ossification. I'm going to attack just to get a counter. Does give them a window where if they have a shield, it'll be slightly worse for me because I won't be able to Rebel Salvo it immediately, but not really getting that many more cards to find a Shieldred to play right now. It's just, they have 3 shots at a Shieldred. They can't afford to play Lorien Revealed into Shieldred unless they draw, well, Black Lotus would definitely do it. I guess a Mox would probably have done it. I don't like it that they're resolving Ancestral Recall, but truth be told, I think they're going to draw a lot of cards for the rest of this game. It's really just an issue of, do I kill them? Good thing I got that counter on Kellan, so it didn't get cut down. It's a lot of extra damage. They can afford to go to 12 here. If they found their Time Walk, it's game over for sure. If they found a removal spell, it's bad. Artifact or creature card. It doesn't do anything. Dreams of Steel and Oil. Oh, I guess this is the tech for the One Ring mirrors. I didn't enjoy that. Go down to 1, and then they're going to gain 10. Not good. They could have played in a different way, right? They could have been in one more life. They've drawn so many Moxes. And I guess that's going to happen when they drop so many cards. I think they've still drawn an above average number, though. I think this one may have gotten away from me. Had they not had that negate, it would have been a different story. Four Mox Pearls. It's a healthy amount. I'm probably going to win. I'm now dead on board. They attack with the Shieldred. So I'm probably not going to win. Oh, more Moxes. Another Time Twister. Yeah, that's probably going to do it for me. So this deck clearly wasn't great. I thought even in the games where I won, it didn't really feel like I was doing anything particularly powerful. I think the deck would be better if it was a little bit cheaper. Not 100% sure how to do that. I guess it needs more 2-drops. This Frodo... really not very good. It's just like a much worse version of Kemba Kha, except in the spots where you get to the point where you need a free equip before you attack. I think Frodo would obviously be better as just another Kemba Kha. And then one card that you could add to this deck to make it more aggressive is Ash. Which, evidently, there's a lot of cards that have Ash in the name. Ash Party Crasher. Because the Bladehold War-Whip and the Bladehold Cleaver both trigger it. Which is pretty nice. I think you also probably want a few more 1-drops. I thought that the Ossifications and the Kellans were good. Jewel Mine Overseer was okay. It was good in the games when we were just sitting there, but I think against tougher opponents, it's not really going to be the way this deck wins usually. So I think that I would probably cut those, cut Astor, add some Ashes, cut Frodo, add another Kemba. Maybe see if there's a decent 1-mana card I'm not playing. I don't think this Banalish Knight Counselor is the kind of 1-drop this deck wants. Recruitment Officer, you're going to have a lot of whiffs, so that's not great. I guess the cheeky House Mouse could maybe steal some wins with Bladehold War-Whip. Casting Squeak by. I always kind of like this Progenitor Exarch card, but it's probably not the right kind of card for this deck. Oh, Rohirrim Lancer. Probably not. Spectrum Sentinel, probably not. Yeah, none of these one drops seem all that appealing. Does this do anything for me? I don't think so. Well, I would look, if you wanted to keep working on this deck, I would say you need to lower the mana curve for sure. Just make it more aggressive. But I kind of feel like the synergies weren't that strong, so I'm probably not going to work on it much more. The only thing, I did like Kellan. Kellan was good. Other than that, like Bladehold War-Whip and Bladehold Cleaver were both fine, but you could very easily get comparable 3 and 4 mana creatures that aren't based on the equipment synergy. Not that these cards aren't bad on their own, but I think if you just didn't care about enabling the equipment synergy, you could choose other similar cards and they would be fine. And then, like, the equipment specifics, the stuff that needed the equipment synergies to become reasonable seemed a little bit weak. Yeah. Well, hope you enjoyed watching that one, and I'll see you next time.